I'm late. Hi. Oh god, there's a lot more of you than last time, Jesus. Okay. So the duel is over, and as much as I am excited by that fact, I've also been royally mugged off, because most of these have just been hypothetical, and have never really been under any direct scrutiny. They're only redoing the bloody thing, lads. Merlin are following my brainwaves and redoing most of the rides that I've already written scripts for, including Darren Brown's Ghost Train, which, if you haven't watched it, you should go and watch that. So at the current rate, I'd expect Galactica to be redone in 2025. Anyway, hello, my name is Cal, and welcome to ReRides, a series where I take rides from the past, present, and future, and give their stories a little bit of a twist. And this one's now technically from the past. At the end of the summer in 2022, Alton Towers announced that Duel would be closing mid-season because it was being repossessed. Clever. Annoyingly, the script that I wrote before this had the exact same joke in it. I'm pissed off. Either way, Duel the Haunted House Strikes Back has closed, and in the 2023 season, it will reopen as the Curse at Alton Manor. Cool. New ride, new name. But could we see some familiar patterns? Well, that's what I'm going to explore today. Let's jump into how I would do the Curse at Alton Manor. Okay, let's start chronologically. In real life, the closure was announced by changing the chalkboard at the exit of the ride, and I'm keeping that. But instead of in real life where it said 6+9, the duel is over, this is my house, I'm changing it to 6+9, the duel is over, you've lost, in the childlike scratched handwriting that it was done in. This in actuality serves to tell the riders that the ride is closing on September 6th, and in story terms, is Emily telling you to leave. For the uninitiated, Emily is the ghost of the little girl who haunts the haunted house and could be seen in the Duel queue line with her cat Snowy. This will become important later. Closing day in real life was a little bit of a whimper, especially when compared to the Nemesis send-off that happened later in the year, so I'm going to give it a proper send-off. The final riders enter, the doors shut, the duel is over. But once those riders are through and clear, send in actors to the area dressed essentially as B-Tech Ghostbusters. Mainly because a lot of people thought that Duel would be rethemed to an IP, that being Ghostbusters, and me being a massive prick, want to throw in some misdirection. These lot go around telling people that they are spirit exterminators, which is a great name for a metal album, and that they have to exorcise the house before it's repossessed. Among all the chaos, a priest, and honestly I'm going with like Papa Emeritus from Ghost vibes, like face paint, long black robe, big pointy hat, have a thurible that has like purple smoke emitting from it. I think that looked really cool. But a priest enters the fray and walks up the stairs to the entrance of Duel. The area music cuts and he slowly turns to give a sermon to the crowd. You who are so enamored by the supernatural, you who crave to know what should not be known by mortal man, you who beg for the shrieks of the damned, but pray not for your own. You have strengthened these demons. You've strengthened their controller. You've strengthened their control. The duel is over. He turns, walks through the double doors with a big dramatic slam before Emily's laughter is played on loop in the area. So, the ride is now closed, and Towers in real life have done a few really cool things with this. They've put up a telephone number which you can phone, they've put up gaps in construction walls that have like little artwork through them, and they're even creating a pop-up haunted doll's house in London. At the time of recording, it's happening this week. I'm going to it and hopefully should have a video from it, but this will likely come out first. If I'm wrong, then there is a clip of it in the card there, and also a link to it in the description. Keep all of that, it's cool as shit. Have the phone be answered by like the spirit exterminators that can have like saying how difficult it is to get the ghouls out, and you can have like some rushing wind and even the head screaming in the background. Have a few like throwbacks to Duel in the haunted house. Now, nearly there, pre-open marketing. I want a creepy video for this, so just bear with me. Very gothic looking haunted house outside, nice dark and overcast, you know, pathetic fallacy, yada yada yada. Camera crashes through the double doors, and there stands Emily with Snowy at her feet. All Emily says is, "You don't want playtime to end, right?" When out of her eyes come these spirits, almost looking like Dementors from Harry Potter, leaving these black pools in her eyes. She looks direct at the camera and just says, "Come play." I want that to be like the tagline for this version of the ride. It's something very childlike and innocent, but in context can be something incredibly sinister. And it is very child's play, very Chucky, but you know, like horror's fun to pull from, let me be. Right, ride time. First of all, get rid of the guns. No more guns, no more targets, no more touch your blaster, nothing. No guns. Sit there, shut up, and enjoy, but not yet. I've got more shenanigans. Queue line. Just for fun, put a little toy gun in the fire. I think that would be a nice little throwback and kind of a statement of intent. Now, I'll give two options as to what happens in the queue line, depending on the budget. Low budget option, have a screen with Emily, still with the black eyes. High budget option, build a platform and an animatronic. With Emily, black eyes still, and honestly, just to freak kids out, have her move a little bit like a character from Coraline. It freaked me out as a kid. I need like a modern version to freak out kids now, so that, yes please. Through one of these means, have Emily say, "You've spent the last 2 decades scaring away my friends during our playtime, and now you expect to enter the house uninvited? Well, you're in luck. Playtime's just started. Come play." I want the ride itself to have this vibe of being like a party that you really don't want to be at, but like you physically can't leave, like you are forced to stay. Have the music be a modernized version of the Haunted House soundtrack rather than the kind of goofy sounding Duel music that we ended up with. You sit down in the ride vehicles and enter the first scene where you have a Pepper's ghost of Emily and Snowy playing with a doll's house on the floor, but in Emily's hand is one of the ride vehicles, and over the audio it just booms and echoes, ready to play. Speaking of ride vehicles, I'd have them as kind of one of those like rotating things. I don't really know the technical term for it, but it kind of like rotates to the scenes so that you're kind of forced to look in a direction. Can be a little bit lazy at times, but it's exactly what we need here. I wouldn't have it be trackless or anything like that because I kind of want it to feel like you're forced down this path. And with the trackless ride system, it kind of doesn't have that visual indicator of having that track in front of you. That's an important thing for just the feel of the ride. The ride continues going room to room of Emily's dollhouse, so you can have some oversized furniture, keep some of the kind of animatronics and set pieces, the cracked walls, flickering lights, cobwebs, spiders, all of that fits in with us here. I'm not going to go through play by play of every single little thing that I want to happen in this ride, but here are some of the rooms that I'd have. Foyer with a previously mentioned Pepper's Ghost of Emily. The dining room with a long dining table filled with ghostly guests. You can have some of them be like headless and trying to eat with a fork and just silly things like that, like stuff for a family market, but still within the spooky realms. A washroom, which is the trommel tunnel, just fix that up and make it look not like an egg. A library which can have books flying overhead, kind of flapping like bats. I feel like that would be quite a cool little thing to do. An attic with a few little references to the scare maze that exists within the same park, so you kind of keep that parkly continuity thing that I like to do. A garden which can back onto a graveyard because ooh, spooky tropes, and also if I don't have one set piece in here, which is a hand bursting up through a grave, I feel like I would have done it a disservice. A bedroom with an Exorcist rip-off scene, but like kind of tone it down a little bit because I feel like I want to traumatize kids, but not that much. That sounds really bad. Am I a bad person? Am I? Nah, this is funny. And of course, a screaming heads room, because we cannot leave out the yeah! Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Ow. But in a nutshell, that's it. I don't really think it's going to be this massive dramatic change. I think a lot of it's going to keep the essence of the Haunted House and of Duel, but just modernizing it to make it a little bit more refreshed, because it did need it. But I think the ride system will change, and I think the guns and targets will be gone, and then some of the scenes will have a complete refresh. I'd love to see what they do with it. I'm really excited for this season. But I've just given it that story of you've been battling the house for the past 2 decades, and the house won, and now you have to face the consequences. So essentially, the inhabitants of the house, led by Emily, are attacking you for 2 decades of turmoil, which I think is quite a nice narrative. It keeps it all boxed within quite a compact story, while also allowing like the theming to roam and play a little bit, and also keeping that continuity and context of the history of the ride and the park, which if you've watched the rest of my ReRides episodes, you know I like to do quite a lot. So that is my rendition of the Curse at Alton Manor. Let's see how much of it carries over to the real life ride later on this season. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy my content, then subscribing and sharing this with your mates would be much appreciated. I've had a massive boost in subscribers since the new year, so thank you very much. If you're new around here, then thanks. My Twitter is @calvicus33, so if you wanted to find me there, you can follow me over there. I also have more episodes of this series that you can find on my channel. There's one on Darren Brown's Ghost Train, which is quite topical right now, and one on Galactica as well. Let me know what you thought of this episode below, and if you have any ideas for any other rides that you'd like to see me have a go at redoing, then just leave them in the comments as well. But for now, I've been Cal, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.